In our last video, we've been talking about divorce so far. We've been talking about different ways divorce hits men and steps you should take as a man if you have been approached by your wife that she wants a divorce. In this video, we will be going into why most men lose everything in divorce. I'm going to be talking about things you missed, things you should have done, and things you should currently do if you are in a divorce situation. Men are always in love. I must say this. Men would see a woman and naturally just fall in love with her. She doesn't have to work at Google. She doesn't have to be high up in connection. She doesn't have to be rich in general. As long as she's beautiful and she's feminine, men would fall in love. But this is not the situation as regards women. I wish it could be. I sincerely wish, but this is not the situation. I don't know if you have heard of this quote that is being said that men are in love and women are in business. When a woman is telling you she loves you, it is because of your ability to provide. Let me explain this. Now, when a woman is telling you she loves you, she's telling you she loves the fact that you are rich. She loves the fact that you're able to take care of your own expenses. She loves the fact that you're able to spend, on her. She loves the fact that you're able to buy her whatever she wants. She loves the fact that you celebrate her during her birthday. Can you see that men are different from women? Most of the time, when men are getting into relationships that are leading into marriage, they know the kind of woman they are in relationship with. I mean, you have seen the red flags. You've seen the fact that she tells you that you must buy a certain car for her. She tells you that she wants luxury gift. You have seen the fact that, she always wants you to spend on her. But you are always willing to please her. You're always willing to ignore the fact that, you know, you don't have much on you. You always go out of your way to make sure you please her. And this is part of the problem because you have seen these red flags from the beginning that this is the kind of woman you're dating. She's only involved or she's only, concerned about what you are able to provide for her, the kind of life you are able to bring to her, but yet you ignore all these red flags. This is how many men put themselves in the trap. They know that this kind of woman that they are going out with is not somebody that they could settle down with. But maybe for some reason, she brings something to the table. That thing she brings to the table might not be vital. But because she's able to do this certain thing, you just feel like she has done it all, man. An example or a scenario here is when you're dating, a very covetous lady that has the figure 8 figure and she's very good in bed as well. Imagine a woman that, really knows, how to please you in the bedroom. When a man sees this kind of woman and is dating her, he might tend to ignore these red flags until in nearest future she says she wants a divorce. If you have made this mistake, you know, you've seen the signs, you've ignored them, I think it's high time you begin to call it into your consciousness. Never think of any relationship as purely mutual or natural because it is not for women. You need to know that because of what you have is the reason why your woman has stayed with you so far. Take this into your next relationship. One of the mistakes that men make that often allow them lose everything is the fact that they don't talk about everything that is needed to talk about. You feel like because you've talked about how many children you want to have, which part of the country you guys want to stay, how your apartment is going to be like. You feel like you've spoken about everything, but you have not. An example is the income in the household. Are you going to be the sole provider, or are both of you going to be bringing something to the table? You need to know if the woman you are trying to settle down with is a woman that wants to be a full housewife. If she wants to be a full housewife, you should consider this as a no no. Because by the time she decides on being a full housewife and you are the one that is the sole provider, in future, when divorce comes into play, she could present it to the court that because she has been your wife, and to make things, worse, she has children for you. So she has been catering for the children whilst being the housewife. She could prove that that is a kind of job she was doing her home. And because of that, she deserves to be part of your asset. You might even say she wants to be paid for the services she has done for you over the years, taking care of the kids and making sure the home front is good. And she also wants to be paid for the fact that she has made your work life very easy for you by taking care of the home front. I don't know if that makes sense. So if she wants to be a full housewife, this should be a no-no for you, because it could be a case that can be won in court when she decides to get a divorce. Another reason why men lose everything is when they've dated for a long time and it's time for marriage, they decide to do a court wedding, a wedding that concerns the government. And if you call the government into your wedding, if you call them, they will respond. The moment you go to the registry, it means that you are inviting the government as the third party into your marriage. So this means that after God, it is the government. And whatever decision the government decides to make, yeah, because you call them, right? You call them, you said, hey, you, I want you to be a witness to me marrying this lady. So whatever decision they make is permanent. In the case of divorce, if the woman says she's entitled to 50% of your income, because she's taking the case to the body that brought you guys together, she might likely win this case, because government is partial. They will take side of women, and most of the time they take the side of women because they don't want to take care of the children that will be left in the middle. So it's either they take the side of the women, which will make them force you to do child support, or they have to take care of it. This means that all expenses would naturally fall on you. Another reason why most men lose it all in their divorce is the fact that they don't consider prenups. I was watching a video on YouTube. I think it's kind of like a skit. I can't see. The guy is a very rich man, at least from what the video says or what the video connotes. Now he met this lady and they've been in a relationship for a while. And the lady was like, aren't you supposed to get married to me? We've been dating for a while. And the guy says, if we're dating, then it means that we have to sign a prenup. And the lady was like, why will I sign a prenup? I'm in love with you. I love you. Why do I need to do things that would have to prove that I love you? And they went on going and going. The guy was trying to prove his point. The lady was also trying to prove her own point. So you should, or you might want to consider prenup. This is to make sure that you are able to keep your asset safe. But if you somehow skipped this next step would be able to help you. And in this next step, you might want to consider registering your assets under a company. So this is what you should do, because it is easier for the government to take your properties and give some of them to your wife when they are in your name. But it's difficult when those properties are under a company. It's is difficult. And in most times, even if they win the case, it takes a long period. But I must say it is difficult because the company on itself is a legal entity. Another reason why most men lose everything in divorce is they never consider putting assets in their children's name early. Some men think that their children need to get to a certain age, maybe like they need to become teenagers before they consider, giving their assets to those children. And this is not true. If you have a lawyer, you can simply tell the lawyer to, sign up or to prepare some kind of document that shows that you are transferring some of your assets to your own children. Now, another mentality is that many men think that because they are passing this asset to their children in a situation of divorce, the wife would inherit these properties from the children, and this is not true. There are certain caveats that you can put surrounding this asset that can make sure that these assets are never passed down to your ex-wife. Let's give a scenario. In a scenario where your child, specifically your son, is 12 years old, you could pass your asset down to your child, but you are putting the caveat that your child cannot be in charge of this asset until he or she becomes an adult. So this means that despite the age of your child and you being passing your asset to your child, that asset is still yours until your child becomes 21. So indirectly, this makes this, a tough nut to crack, especially when the government are trying to pass your assets to your ex-wife. I hope this video has been helpful, and I really, really hope that you have learned a lot in this video. If this video has been helpful, like and share, also subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.